Hi, I'm Andrew, the young adult and media librarian at North Brunswick Public Library. Are you special? Would you like to be special? I think it's a pretty universal desire to be special. And I think that that is part of, well, really a major theme of the new novel, Faith Taking Flight by Julie Murphy. You may know Julie Murphy as the author of books such as Dumplin and Pudding and Dear Sweet Pea. Here she takes a character from Valiant Comics named Faith, also known as Zephyr. She was a character who was in a book called Harbinger, where she was part of a team of superheroes. She had been experimented on by a mysterious organization. And then later on, she got her own solo series. But you don't have to have read a single one of those books to enjoy and to understand Faith. In fact, Julie Murphy doesn't really try to make the book consistent with what happened in the comics, and it's really not necessary to. She just needs to make a good story. So I'm going to read. I'm going to start out. I'm going to read a little bit from the prologue to the book. 3 months ago, it was supposed to be an epic summer. It would be my last summer with Matt and Chess before our senior year, and we had big plans. The kind of plans that involved a whole lot of nothing, like racing to eat snow cones before they melted down our arms, and floating in Matt's neighborhood pool under our skin wrinkled until our skin wrinkled, and curling up together by night to watch every episode of Battlestar Galactica, followed by a marathon of our favorite episodes of The Grove, selected by yours truly. All of that changed the day Matt and Chess showed up at my house during our first full week of summer break and broke the news that Matt would be spending most of the summer with his grandmother in Georgia. Not only that, but Chess would be joining him. I won't go if you don't want me to, Chess had said to me apologetically, but I couldn't blame her. Matt's grandma had a soft spot for Chess, who's never even left the state of Minnesota. I was sad and felt left out, but I couldn't blame her. Matt felt bad too, but his grandmother's retirement community only allowed her to host two people at once. The first few weeks without them were fine. I'd fallen deep down the rabbit hole of Kingdom Keeper, a new multiplayer online role-playing game. I tried but failed to get Matt and Chess into it, so that we could play from afar, but they were busy exploring Atlanta. At least they send me some selfies from their adventures at the aquarium and at the Coca-Cola Museum. Besides, there were plenty of other people to play with in Kingdom Keeper, and putting yourself out there is a heck of a lot easier when you're an avatar. One night, a private message popped up on my screen from an orc who went by Sting. Hey, you're in the Midwest, right? A few of us had organized into different regional groups with the hope of doing some meetups. Sting, knowing I was from the Midwest, was the least alarming thing about him. Trust me, you should have seen his victory dance. It involved thrusting, lots of thrusting. You gotta have faith. Yeah, the land of cheese and malls. Sting, cool. A bunch of us are meeting up at the Mall of America on Friday. You should go. I wish I could say I took the time to consider all the reasons why meeting a stranger from the internet was a less than stellar idea. But I missed my best friends desperately. Besides, we were meeting at a mall. What could possibly go wrong? Now, of course, whenever someone says what could possibly go wrong, something's going to go wrong. And she does acknowledge as the Faith is the narrator as well as the protagonist, and she does acknowledge that she probably should have been a lot more cautious about meeting someone from the internet. In fact, Faith is a very trusting character. I think that's something that she really needs to get over in this book because people, when she's too trusting, she gets into trouble. I think in that sense, I think you can get a little bit of sense of who she is just from that opening passage. You seem like a very real, relatable character. And you can see from her image that she doesn't look like some of those anatomically impossible superheroines from comics. No, She just, she looks like, she just, she's a heavy girl. She has a lot of geeky interests, and that it could actually help her, because she does gain superpowers in this book early on, but it's not superpowers that are going to make her a hero, as she finds. She has a certain amount of character development that she needs to go through. And I think that that's sort of the fun of the book, is seeing her do that. She gets involved with with the plot. Well, she knows that there's a lot of strange things going on in the town. There's a new designer drug on the scene, but animals and people have been disappearing. And her favorite show, The Grove, has moved its production to Minnesota, to near where she lives, which seems very strange that a big, popular, long-running TV show would suddenly move there. Are these things related? Maybe. And she also finds that even though there are some problems in her life that her powers can help her with, there's some problems that she can't solve, and I think that's sort of an important theme in that as well. So you can use your North Brunswick Library card to put this book on hold. You can do it through our website, or you can call us and we put it on hold for you. But if you like the character enough that you'd like to see her original comics, you can do that too. All right, I'm going to share my screen and show you a few things here. If you want to start at the beginning, if you want to look at the Harbinger ones, right, you can see that Hoopla has a lot of those. You can read those electronically. All right, you can see that you can use this quite a lot. Right, Valiant Comics, they produced a lot, they published a lot, but you can also just look at her solo adventures as well. I'm going to narrow this down to comics. All right, and you can see that. All right, now some of these are a little bit out. Some of these are not really relevant, but enough of these show you that there's a lot of option there. But if you like, the hard copies, you can find that we have a few of her adventures in print as well. Hollywood and Vine, which is probably the one that made her the character she is, as well as California Scheming and Superstar. So I'd be curious to hear your opinions about Faith. Have you read this one? What do you think? Are you excited to read it? Are there any other books that you think I should look at? Please let me know. And happy reading.